Next is from Tori Chet. Subject, NHL and NXT from WWE. Hey guys, big fan. Today on WWE earnings call, Nick Khan stated the NHL was not the reason for the move to Tuesdays. Yeah, I heard that. I don't know who actually was reporting that, by the way. Because that story started traveling.
Triple H, I think Triple H said it, didn't he? Let me look
okay.
this
Nick
up.
Khan specifically said that they don't expect the NBC NHL relationship to continue, and that they did it to grow viewership. That's true. The NBC said today they're not doing the NHL anymore. If that's the case, isn't that a mission of defeat to AEW? Since their viewership is obviously not growing while competing with Dynamite, if it wasn't due to the NHL, this kind of means that Jericho and AEW and their fans are correct. What do you think? Well, first of all, they never engaged in a ratings war with them anyway.
No.
They just counter-programmed, and then they, these fans are just like anybody that actually thought that was a ratings war. When you're dealing with the number 3 and number 4 show for viewership of the week, it's not a war. Period. And like the combined audience on that show wasn't as much as SmackDown and wasn't as much as Raw. So it's like I don't even know where this conversation is coming from. It's ridiculous. It's a made up BS dumb narrative that there was a ratings war when the two shows lost $1 million over the course of 18 months. There's a million viewers over the course of 18 months.
There was a load of reports here that say NXT.
That's how much they lost, a million in 18 months?
Yeah.
They started with 2.3 million people
combined.
Right.
Were watching the show combined, and the last Wednesday that they did it was like 1.3 something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, are we going to celebrate that, or is this And now we have another day of wrestling where there's less people watching the show on Wednesday night.
Not just that, even AEW went I remember the first show they did without NXT, they did like 1.3, and then the next week it went down to 1.1. Mm-hmm. So we're about to find out is this a promotion that's going to hover a little bit over $1 million or under $1 million?
Right at. I would say Yeah. I mean, if they're not, everybody thinks it's good that they're on their own, right? And I'm like, dude, it's like there's no competition now on any of the shows, and when that happens, what do you get?
What's this guy's name that asked the question?
This guy's name is
Spider D was the last
Tori
one.
Chet.
Okay, well, that would be one way of looking at from it if you're an AEW fan and declaring victory, but I myself don't think it was, like Glenn alluded to before, a ratings war, because they never really brought out the big guns. They never really did anything out of the ordinary to really try to compete with them. But it is strange to me. Why'd they move out of that day?
I just think
Nick Cobb makes a good point here, though.
Right.
A caller, this is from the conference call, right? Caller asked about NXT movie nights, and AEW is brought up.
Yeah.
Nick Khan says, quote, everything, unquote, is competition from people sitting around texting all night.
Yeah,
he says they're only worried about attracting eyeballs to themselves, and NHL had nothing to do with the NXT move, Nick Khan says. That's true. That's a good point. And it is true. Your competition is everybody that can view a television and turn on you and see your show.
That's the company line, though, Disco. They've been saying that for years. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, Vince would say.
Still true.
UFC,
That's why did they have the highest ratings then still with the product that's
I'm just
as
saying,
inferior from their standards as it's ever been.
Since WCW, they've denied anything is competition. UFC, TNA, AEW, whatever. That's just their company line. We're not competing with them. We're competing with the Sopranos, or we're competing with, Game of Thrones, like that.
Well, if they're competing with the Game of Thrones with Alexa Bliss, I don't think that's very good competition.
And if WWE considers over 2 million,
Riddle, nothing.
If WWE considers over 2 million for either Raw or SmackDown to be a great thing, then I don't think there's any way AEW is going to jump over 1 million, and stay that way. Just the fans aren't there.